Hey all, welcome to Maui Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expansive point of view as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. So you guys, I promised you a 2026 like forecast type reading, even though I said I don't want to do like the zodiac vibe. And again, I want to clear things up because I've been getting some emails. I do astrology. I love astrology. So don't be shocked if I do like placement readings, type like if I do some Venus and Pisces. That's an interesting placement. Yeah, Pluto in Pisces. Stuff like that. Right, or even if you guys want me to do like moon readings, like you want me to do full moon readings or new moon readings, I'm happy to do that. What I don't resonate with is horoscope. Like horoscope and astrology are two different things, and I know in the past I've done it for you because that's also the accusation I got. Mara Zanne uke wasenzela. Yeah, na cause bengile your girlfriend bengivuma because nina you want to, yabo. So I was like, okay, ngoba nina niyafuna ke nami ngizoyenza. Mara ngisaseyiyo leyo girlfriend. So, yeah. Mara, I do have a 2026 forecast for you, and it's gonna be a pick-up pile. I think that's so much fun. We haven't done that in forever. Let me lower my voice. I'm gonna do a pick a pile. So I'm gonna put the piles or pick a card, however you wanna say it. I'm gonna put the piles or the cards on the screen, and then you guys can pick whichever image that you resonate with the most. It's very normal to pick more than one image. It's very normal to pick all the images. Do your thing, whatever resonates with you. Whichever image where you see yourself the most or you see your personality the most, pick that one. And yeah, we're doing 2026 forecasting. Okay. Forecasting is not the same as fortune telling, guys. Forecasting is like, based on these current energies, the weather on this day may be like this. But, yeah, nature be naturing. So, but yes, without further ado, because we got a lot to do, there's a lot to get through. I'm going to put the images on the screen and pick your image and let's get into it. Cool. Hey, Paiwan. So you chose this image with the eyes and the whole lot of awareness, and I'm gonna pull some cards for you just from the image that you've chosen. This is gonna be a year where you explore your multidimensionality to the fullest, and that means that you're going to work with a lot of entities. You're going to understand the gift of the people around you. I remember when I read, I think it was Friendship with God by Neil Donald Walsh, there's a part where the book says you have been sent nothing but angels, and it took me a long time to understand that. Like, I could have even been today years old when I understood that. Like, that's how long it has taken me to understand that. You have been sent nothing but angels. And the way in which you're going to navigate your multidimensionality in this cycle is really going to express that term. You're going to understand how even the one you call your enemy has something for you that you can alchemize into your own blueprint or your own template of the self and come through with something amazing. Produce something that is so much more of you than you ever expected. Yes, it's also giving very much Hossana template, in the sense that also you're one of those people that sometimes gets accused of, it's really weird. It's these two extremes where you get accused of being too much, and at the same time you get accused of being very detached and too distant and acting as if you don't care. And the thing about it is that it's that whole draconian template. That's why I'm saying it's the Hossana template, because everybody feels like, oh, you don't have any emotions. Like, it's so reptilian. You don't have any emotions. Not understanding that the emotions that everybody is playing in is very surface level emotions. Like, people are still dealing with like surface level sadness, surface level happiness, surface level anger, and you have gone so much deeper than that. You know, it's giving Scorpio. You've gone so much deeper. It's giving Pluto in Scorpio. You've gone so much deeper than that, in the sense that yes, this you've transcended the surface level emotions. You do quickly process normal anger, normal joy, normal excitement. Like, it's like you quickly calibrate that into your system. So a lot of the times, even when you're happy, people are like, oh, I didn't know you were happy with that. Like, I thought you were upset, or like something like that, right? Because the way people see it, you don't show any emotion. But again, that's because there's a lot of surface level emotion making its rounds. But then you find yourself sometimes in these situations where you're watching a movie that isn't sad, that isn't heartbreaking, and yet you feel this like you're moved in such a way that even can bring you to tears or bring you to hysterical laughter, even though what you're watching isn't funny. And you're going to find new ways of describing how you feel, because the current descriptions are quite limited. Sometimes you think you're feeling sad, but you're actually feeling depth. You're in that deepest part of the like deepest part of the ocean, deepest part of your emotions. Sometimes you feel like you're feeling anxiety, but you're actually excited. You're actually in a feeling of anticipation, and you're wondering why the remedies that you normally use for your anxiety, whether it's chamomile tea or it's certain breathing exercise, you're like, why isn't it stopping the anxiety? Because you're not anxious, because you're so not used to feeling that extent of the emotion that every time you do, you're like, there's something wrong. I must be anxious. There's something wrong. I must not be feeling well. It's like, no, everything's fine. You've just accessed deeper emotions within yourself, and you find that the surface level emotions no longer move you. And yes, again, it's gonna call for you to collaborate or engage with maybe more esoteric archetypes. Before I started this video, I was reading the Epic of Gilgamesh. I at least read it once a year. I don't know why, but I'm really into it. Um, there's different, it's layered, it's quite a layered story, but I don't know why I'm called to tell you this, but the short story is that Gilgamesh is half god, half human. But he's quite detached, which makes him come across as cruel. Like, even the gods feel like he needs to tone it down a little bit. And so, weirdly enough, to do that, they send him this human being, Enkidu. And Enkidu, the gods literally formed him for Gilgamesh. But before him and Gilgamesh meet, Enkidu is really more animal-like than he is human, and he goes through certain initiations to make him, to raise his frequency. Funny enough, one of those initiations is like this tantric sexual awakening thing. He gets sent to the priestesses, which in those days were, your vibrations were raised through sexual activity, but with the priestesses they were able to activate certain aspects of you through the sexual act. So Enkidu goes through this, right? And he becomes more like, he raises his frequency. He's less animal now, he's more advanced. So finally he meets Gilgamesh. I think their meeting is within like this wrestling match, because, so masculine. Through this like wrestling match. And obviously Gilgamesh wins. He's half god, half human. But him and Enkidu become friends. They become the best of friends. They start traveling together. They're slaying these low vibrational beings together. I think they were also pillaging, but like let's not focus on that. But they're having a good time. They're having a good time together. And then Gilgamesh is set to go through this initiation of the mothers, and he decides he doesn't want to, and he therefore starts to desecrate one of the symbols of the mothers, and that obviously doesn't please the gods, and so they decide to take Enkidu away from him, because they feel as though that's the initiation he needs in order to alchemize or transmute the version of himself he is right now to become more expanded and understand the importance of the higher frequencies. I mean, he is half God. And so there's a certain responsibility, a duty that he has. And they take Enkidu away from him. So Enkidu dies, so to speak. And Gilgamesh mourns Enkidu. He mourns him so much. It's such a big thing for him. And okay, yes, there's the story, right? But this represents Enkidu is the lower version of Gilgamesh. He is the human version of Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh in that state is in between worlds, where he's needing to kind of marry the two parts of himself, that is human and God, in order to make something else, in order to become something more. And there's a need for growth within him. And in this death of Enkidu, it speaks to the death of the ego almost, where that part of yourself is absorbed into the bigger part of yourself in order for you to become something more. And there's something about that in your story for this cycle. This cycle is very personal for you, the cycle that is 2026. It's very personal for you in the sense that it's going to be so much about yourself. I mean, you may even have people saying you're selfish within this cycle, saying that you only think about yourself, or people just noticing that you're pouring more into yourself than you ever have before. And noticing how that changes you also. People are going to realize how much you've changed because of pouring more into yourself. And ultimately, this year for you is a big transformational year. It's a very much this letting go of the parts of yourself that do not suit the version of yourself that you're trying to be, but not through hate and anger towards that version of yourself that isn't who you're trying to be, but through love, like how Gilgamesh and Enkidu were, how Gilgamesh was with Enkidu. Enkidu is human. Gilgamesh could have looked down on him, but he loved him. And also, this is actually a very brotherly story. Yes, male intimacy. I told you guys I'd be into that, but and I guess yes, of course, it can go into the more intimate realms, the more sexual realms. It can, but also it doesn't have to. um it's also a, what's it called when a cautionary tale. There's gonna be many times when you just want to, where you feel like it's safer, or you're safer as the person you used to be. The person who is not aware of all these energies and all these messages and downloads. There'll be times when you feel as though, shit, am I going through psychosis? And I want you to know psychosis is part of this path. I mean, obviously not an ongoing psychosis, but it's kind of like what people say about like achieving your dreams and how you have to be like a little bit crazy, like just a little bit. Guys, to go through the spiritual path, you gotta be a little bit crazy, just a little bit, right? Not ongoing fuck up my life crazy, but just a little bit crazy. Crazy enough to believe things that other people would never. Crazy enough to be able to go through things that other people could never. Look at this. This is the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like this resembles the image that you chose so much. If you can't see, there's an eye there at the center of that Wheel of Fortune. And this is speaking to the awareness that you need to carry throughout your life, throughout the phases of your life, and how you're going to understand that this year. Again, about how the Hossana template is very much about, well, it's not very much about that, but it includes understanding that everything that happens for your benefit. It includes understanding that even when you're going through challenges or what you may perceive as challenges, you are in flow and keep moving. It doesn't mean take it when you don't want to. No, that's not what it means. But it means when something has happened, don't sit there and start going into thought patterns that talk about how, oh, you're cursed, or oh, your ancestors are angry at you, or your guides are angry at you, and that's why this is happening. Release yourself from that. Release yourself from those mindsets, from thinking that the world is out to get you, even through people that you think dislike you, or through situations that you think, oh, I'm stuck, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, instead of feeling like I'm stuck, say I'm in a waiting room. I'm here to see this advanced version of myself, and I'm currently in the waiting room, but I have an appointment, and that's why I'm here. And whoever is behind that door wants me here. I'm just currently in the waiting room. Start changing your narrative to reflect your more expansive frequencies. Let the light in. Allow yourself to see. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 1. And yeah, I hope that resonated, and I'll see you later. Cool. Pile 2. Okay, cool. So this is the image that you chose, and or at least one of the images that you've chosen. So I'm going to pull some cards and let's get into your reading. Okay, so just based on the image that you chose, you're going to interact with very specific, with a very specific soul group. Like this year, it's giving quantum origin, very much outside of your known lineage. And this is where you're about to find out things about yourself, like the fact that like unomoya wa makosi, or you have royal spiritual lineage. And also it's giving hidden knowledge, hidden group of people, people that only they recognize each other. But if you're not within that system or within that group, you don't know these people. but they recognize each other. There's this author that I know, Waldo Emerson. He's also got a third name, but I can't remember. But I used to read a lot of his stuff, and there's this thing where he talks about how the gods are to each other not unknown. Like, basically about how you cannot hide a god from another god, and that's what your reading is giving. um you're going to feel how you have been recognized and been called in by your group of spiritual councils, and how they are, like I said, very different. Yep, yep, yep. I don't want to show you the cards because they're gonna scare you. And I don't want you to accuse me of things that I know nothing about. Let me talk. Maybe I'll decide to show you. It's time for you to break through a lot of spiritual stereotypes. In the last reading, I spoke about Luciferianism. Lucifer means light bearer, harbinger of light. So that alone should make someone who is interested in the esoteric side of spirituality want to explore more. What does this mean? Because it's so much against what we've been taught in the religious text. But as most people know, in the esoteric part of spirituality, everybody knows Lucifer's not a bad person. Like, it's not even it's it's like a duh type of thing. And you're going to do a lot of exploring this year. You're actually quite hungry for that kind of exploration. You're building this version of yourself, and you understand the external aesthetics of what that looks like, but it's time for you to do the inner part, the meaty part, the one that actually turns Pinocchio into a real boy, that part, the magical part. And that is within the processing, obviously, of emotions, of thought patterns, the transmutation of things that you were once afraid of, the transmutation of that which was in the dark, and bringing it into the light. And that adventure and that whole process is going to connect you so much to your true blueprint or your true essence, even though it's very much right now a part of you that you're afraid of. It's very much right now a part of yourself that you are wary of, that you are cautious of. But there's something about it's time. Yeah, something about the clock has struck that time in your life where please bear in mind this is my Halloween tarot deck. I'm going to show you the cards now. I've decided I want to show you the cards because I feel like that's part of the experience. Again, bear in mind this is a Halloween tarot deck, so it is going to be like this. So here you've got the Knight of Wands and you've got the Emperor, and it's speaking very much about a hidden fire within you. You might also have iNzunza, and but this is not just one iNzunza. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah, I once did a personal reading for someone. Hey boo, you're gonna know who you are. I wonder if you chose this like pile. And I did a reading for this person, and they do not have iNzunza, like, this one form or whatever. They come from a family of iNzunza. Like, their spiritual council is made of iNzunza nje. It's giving Anunnaki. Oh, that's why, because we started your reading with the whole Moyawama course. Yeah, the royal, I get it now. Yes, it's giving Anunnaki. Um, it's giving Jinn. Like, because when I was like, oh shit, like I was literally seeing like imagine like like in the desert, like the dunes. So imagine climbing up a certain dune, right? When you're climbing up a dune, you can't see what's on the other side, right? So you're climbing up this like hill of sand, and you're climbing up, and only when you get to the top are you going to be able to see what's on the other side. So it's kind of like I felt like that's what I was doing. I was like, when I was climbing up this like hill of sand of dune. We're in the desert, and as I climb up, I'm just seeing like fire, but not wildfire, not unconscious fire, not lifeless fire. This is fire that is aware, which means it's kind of like a village, but I'm not seeing people. It's like the people are flames, like this, And I think that speaks a lot to how this year you're going to activate so many aspects of yourself. But this is so hectic. But you're going to be fine because this is who you are. If an outsider, that's why they're saying it's a hidden community. Oh my God. That's why they're saying it's a because it was giving like secret society, but I don't want to say that. I'm so tired of saying secret society because I feel like the term secret society has such like weird connotations, and I don't want to bring that into your reading. So it's like a hidden community, but not hidden because oh we hide from the people because we're doing evil things. No, no one is aware of us because of the frequency. The frequency renders these people invisible because it's so light, it's so expanded. And for you too, it speaks to the amount of work that you've done that will allow you to engage with this part of your lineage within this year. I feel like you're getting an introduction, and also, like it's gonna they're gonna tell you like your place in this whole thing, your place in your life. I feel like you're finally gonna get that purpose, plan, type of thing, like where you kind of, if you have those questions like who am I, what am I doing here, what is all of this for, this is the year you're going to activate those answers within yourself, because you've always had those answers. Those answers have always been with you. You had just not tapped into the part of yourself where you can access those answers because we were still having a jolly good time within the social construct and the matrix. But yeah, it got old, it got boring. And again, this is not a thing of like, oh, fuck the matrix, fuck the social construct. It's like, I'll be back near social construct. I just have to go here a little bit because I want to have more fun here. But in order to do that, I have to find out more. You have to find out more about who you are. What are you doing here? And then you can go back to the social construct. You can go back to the matrix, not as a product of the matrix, not as a piece of furniture within the matrix, or something whose energy must be harvested by the matrix, but as something else. You've also got the Ten of Swords and you've got the Knight of Cups. It's okay that right now you're feeling. It's okay that right now you're feeling. The Ten of Cups is not what people think. It's okay that right now you're feeling slow. Slow down. It's fine. Like, literally, if like the year started and you feel like you're so tired and the year just began, yes, that's okay. It's because you be doing a lot and you don't see yourself doing it. A lot of times, right, people want to learn the processes of certain groups of people. Like, for instance, people will say, how do I transmute? Notice how I've never said to you guys, these are the step-by-step actions or instructions of how you transmute energy. Because only an outsider to those that know how to transmute would need that. I say words like transmute in order to activate within you the knowledge, the awareness of how to do that. Because within your cells, within your blood, within your energetic self or your energetic field, you already know how to do that. Because you come from a people that do that transmute the energy, that are never stuck in one space. Even this form of fire is just a form for us to speak about, and so that I can get more in terms of what does this energy entail. But these beings can shift into any space. We could be talking tomorrow and suddenly they're water. You could book a personal reading and suddenly they are beings of air. But I guess the dragon is that, isn't it? That's why it flies. The dragon is an earthly thing, but at the same time it's a sky being. But at the same time it's a water being. And yet it's the way it moves. And when I say moves, I mean the way it navigates the dimensions. It's a water being, it flows. So this is representing the fact that you are so afraid of certain aspects of yourself. You are so afraid of this group of knowledgeable, I'm going to say ancestors, because they are ancestors, even though they are your ancestors that are full-on entity. These are entities, yes, embodiment is required here. But before that, you need to get past this stage where everything is in the dark and it's hidden and it looks scary and it looks evil and it looks like you shouldn't. Those are the stories you are telling yourself. That's why this energy is showing up like this for you. Because you've told yourself stories about certain energies that you are connected to, that your people are connected to. But you've been taught that, oh no, that's dark. That's not cool. Even if you're Muslim, right? Your people used to interact with jinn before Islam began. I'm not going against your religion. I'm actually very much into all the religions, weirdly. But that's because I know how to touch and let go. I know your religion says jinn is evil. But your people used to interact with jinn before Islam came and decided that they were going to be your only direction to God. The same thing with others. The one you call Lucifer is one of your people, one of your greatest ancestors. Or at least the energy that is encompassed in that name, because the name is new. The name is new. I think it's Roman. But the energy that is spoken about, and they knew. That's why they called that energy Lucifer, the light bearer. The harbinger, is that how you pronounce that word? Harbinger of light. It's time for you to explore these hidden realms. You should check out Pile 1, by the way, because like there's certain themes that came up in Pile 1 that are coming up in your reading too. And if you're starting to get scared, please note, I didn't say the devil. I didn't say Satan. I said Lucifer. Or like umdala manje in the spiritual game. You're older. Your people cannot keep babying you forever. You need to decide now. Do you want to connect to the deeper aspects of yourself, or do you want to just play in the shallow pool? And if that's the case, there's nothing wrong with that. No one minds. There's nothing wrong with that. But then, stop pretending. Yeah, your guides are strict, hey, by the way. And I understand, why wouldn't they be? But like I said, also, rest. It's okay to rest. Rest. Okay, that's what I have for you guys, proud to you. And subscribe and leave a comment and like and do all the nice things later. Pile 3. Hey y'all. So this is the image that you chose. And okay, I'm gonna pull some cards for you. But just before I pull cards, we're gonna talk about the image. So, interesting image. You're collaborating a lot this year with your reality. You're gonna stop seeing your reality. Yeah. You're gonna stop fighting your reality, fighting your surroundings as if you and your reality are separate. In quantum physics, well, metaphysics maybe, it's understood that you are never experiencing, when you are experiencing the world, you're not experiencing anything outside of yourself. You're always experiencing your own nervous system. You're always experiencing your own inner realm. That's why it's so important to engage with your inner realm and explore your inner realm and get in touch with who you really are, because that will give you a better experience of your external reality. And for you, this is the year where you stop interacting with your reality as if you are a stranger in that reality. Meanwhile, that reality is you, just in another form, a way more expanded form. This is the year you begin to understand that your reality represents your nervous system. If you feel like things are crazy and this world is on fire and it's burning and it's so out of touch and it's crazy and blah blah, that's your nervous system. That's speaking to how you're inflamed all the time. That's speaking to how your cortisol levels are at an exponential high. You're aging faster than you should be. You're nervous all the time. And that coffee you're having is not helping you. That sugar you keep adding is not helping you. That lover you have is not helping you, but you're attracting that amount of caffeine, that amount of sugar, that amount of disrespect in someone that says they love you because of your inner world. Everything is muddled up inside. Nothing is going according to plan internally. And so you're attracting this mess externally. And so this is the year of inner balance. This is the year that you accept that it can't always be others. Some of it is you. You seem to be the common denominator. And this is the year that you seek to change things in the most impactful way that you ever have decided to change things, because you have wanted change, but you always thought the change must happen externally. You always thought, oh no, this is because I don't have enough money. This is because I don't have the job I want. This is because I'm not in a fulfilling career. This is because I'm not beautiful enough. And not understanding that all of that stuff can be exactly how you want it. But there's so much There's so much transmutation that needs to occur. There's so much growth that needs to occur. Or there's so much growth that has occurred. Oh, I see. This is the year you see how far you've come. This is the year that you see the work that you've put into yourself. Now it's time to see the results. I realize now all that stuff I was talking about is who you used to be in your past. Well, for the people at least that I'm speaking to now, because I don't make errors like that in these readings. So when I was speaking like that, clearly those people are still in that stage. But it's like the timeline is changing now when it's speaking to, you know, this image and how it's like you're heading into this path, and it's like this was you like heading into this path like 12 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And you didn't even see when you were going down the path, like, why is it so dark? Like, where am I going? Yo, because you were going into the dark night of the soul. You were going into the dark night of the soul. And everything I've mentioned, like, right down to like the bad career, the you feeling ugly, feeling broke, drinking way too much coffee. That shit was drying out your skin. 1 cup of coffee a day is enough. Like having way too much sugar, you know, like not taking care of that backache that you have, or not taking care of that 3 a.m. stomach ache that you have. Yeah, that was all in the dark night of the soul. And now you've come out on the other side. And this is your graduation year, Pal 3. I'm happy to say to you that this is your graduation year. And graduation year is layered. It's very layered. Oh, let me say graduation season. Graduation season is layered because at first it kind of feels like everything is about to repeat itself. It's really weird. You feel as if, no, wait, am I about to go through another cycle of the dark night of the soul? That's also why your reading started out like that. I'm sure a lot of you were like, no, what does she mean? Maybe this is not the pile I should have picked. And some of you may have already changed piles, like, I don't want this pile. But then for those of you that stayed, that were patient, yeah, that's how you were, even in your dark night of the soul. Whoever left and was like, no, that's not it, it's because they're lying. They don't want to process the truth about who they were, who they used to be. And that's why they're not graduating and you are. Because just like this reading where I first started out speaking out about stuff you may not have wanted to hear, you stuck around and you were like, maybe I'm not done. Let me hear it. You are, boo. You guys have finished off your karmic cycles. And you're going to notice that, oh my God, look at this. This is the Ace of Pentacles. This is new state of being, new life type of thing, like a new fire within you. And this is exactly what I was about to say, in that, yeah, you've gone through the dark night of the soul and you've transmuted the energies of death and decomposition into rebirth and life and newness and once again, but anew type of vibe. You're gonna notice that the ancestors that you were familiar with throughout your time in the dark night of the soul, the ones that helped you through that type of thing, you've also you've put them in a place where they can now rest. You've finished the unfinished business. You've done the things. So you no longer have those ancestors that are like, we need you to do this, we need you to do this. You no longer, and you never had to be afraid. But if no one has said this to you, even now, you no longer have to be afraid of having to finish off something that you don't want to do. You've done all that. So don't be scared if like maybe you light your candle and you ufuna ukuphahla, or you want to speak to an ancestor you've always been speaking to, but it feels as if you're disconnected. It feels as if you're not reaching anybody. It feels as if it's empty. It's because that ancestor has, I'm looking for a word. I use that word all the time. Transcended. That ancestor has transcended. They're no longer in the realm where they're helping you with your little 3D things. Like, so now there's like entities that are eyeing you. Because you now have depth. You now have a destiny instead of, just like psychic path, like karmic paths that you need to finish and whatnot. You're now accessing the realm of destiny. And so now you're going to engage with new aspects of yourself. By the way, you feel more beautiful, more handsome than you've ever felt in your life. You feel so close to your magic than you've ever felt. You've noticed how this world responds to you in a way that it never has. You might not feel this right now, but you will as the year goes on. It's obviously a 2026 like forecast, so you will, as the year progresses, you will start to feel more comfortable in this aspect of yourself where you are seen, where you are protected, where you are guided in ways that you understand. But also you're going to realize how you're going to that's interesting. It's quite a specific initiation that you went through. And when I say initiation, I mean your dark night of the soul, because the dark night of the soul is a form of initiation. It's quite an interesting initiation that you went through. It's a very much like a priestess or high priestess or high priest, prophetess like type of thing that's happening here. And you work a lot with your sexual energy. Yes, every spiritualist or mystic works with spirit, like sexual energy, but yours is quite potent, like hella potent. Um, hella, like a lot. I can't express enough how potent your sexual energy is. Like, people find you disarmingly attractive type of thing. Like, they cannot hold themselves. Not like obviously like you're hypnotizing people and they're going crazy, but like whenever, like if you have a certain sexual encounter with someone, like they cannot stop thinking about you. They're out here thinking you did something to them, because why can they not stop thinking about you? But that's only the ones who are unaware. Only an unaware person will think like you. Not to say that things like that don't happen, but like the unaware people in your past like feel like you did something to them. But going forward into this year, you're going to meet more expansive sexual partners. If you're married, your sexual connection with your partner is going to be more, I don't know how to explain this shit. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost as if like every time you engage in sexual activity with this person, the more they understand like certain things, the more they understand you, but the more they understand like certain things also about themselves, about the world, about, the sexual act with you becomes more, it's giving, like the mothers, like that time, like, like back in the day, like when we were still in the I hate the word matriarchy. I'm sorry, I don't know why, but I don't like it. Like when we were more, but in that state, like I don't hate the concept. I hate the wording. I don't like it. But when we were more in that whole like mother moon goddess like vibe, so the priestesses, the prophetesses, the sibyls, they were also the like the tantric teachers, right? The sexual like alchemy teachers, and they would do their um prophetess duties or whatnot through the sexual act. They were the whole term of the whore of Babylon is basically that. She was the most high priestess that you could find. The word whore only has a bad connotation in this age, and obviously since the Romans and Gregorian times and whatnot. But back in the day, even if you look up I can't remember what it's called, but when you look up when the word was like first, when the word first came to be and what it meant then, whore means dear, like my dear type of thing, which also has a whole hidden meaning type of thing. But yeah, you're going to, but yes, basically you had these like priestesses or prophetesses, the sibyls, the mothers, and they would engage in activating and healing people through sexual energy. It didn't necessarily have to be the sexual act, but it also could be. Also, the art of prostitution comes from here. That's why I once did that Kundalini reading about how if you're a spiritual healer, you have more in common with a sex worker than you think. I know some people don't want to hear that and it's like controversial, but also because of today and how the magic and the pureness of that act has been lost. Now it's literally just selling sex, as they say. Sex sells, sex, like type of thing. But that's not how it was at first. So I see why some people would be offended with that term. But I mean, like, yeah. Back in the day, sex working was revered. But obviously, I mean way back in the day, under the moon goddess day. Anyway, you're about to connect with that vibe. And it's going to help with your manifestations. Yes, yes, Hashem, you've done it. You've transmuted like that, like the human condition in its shitty way into gold, boo. The gold is you. You are the gold. You have this ability to make people fall in love with you. It's not something you do consciously. It's kind of like how you breathe or how your heart beats. It's just your nature. It's how you are. You activate love or the love template within other people. And because you activate it, those people tend to fall in love with you. But really, ultimately, it's not like you were making them fall in love with you. You just activate the love template within people. But it's such a high frequency template that people end up falling in love with you. And so you have this seductress, sensual type of vibe about you. I have to go, guys. The other guys are going to complain. The readings are 15 minutes and yours is already on 17. So, yeah, that's what I have for you guys. Like, I feel like I've given you more than enough to work with. So, you got this. Please like and share and subscribe and do all the things. And later. Pile 4. Hello, darlings. Pile 4, pile 4. So yeah, I mean, you can imagine I've been through 3 piles. I'm a little bit exhausted, but I got you. I've still got enough in me to give to you what you need. So let me pull some cards. Oh, you chose this image. Just based on the image, let's talk a little bit about that. You're getting ready for embodiment. Embodiment happens in waves. And so you've already started, feeling little bits of that from like the end of last year. You might be feeling like you're tired type of thing. Like, not tired. Well, you might be calling it tired. It's not that. It's that everything is kind of moving slowly all of a sudden. Last year, 2025 was quite fast. Like, the pace of the year was quite fast. 2026 is quite slow. It's very much giving stream of water. It's slow compared to 2025. But because everyone kind of got used to the pace of 2025, coming into 2026, you're moving faster than you should. Remember when I told you guys, be careful how you enter a room, how you enter a new dimension, how you enter a new state of being. It is a new year. Why did you not heed my advice? But it's okay. It is not too late. Don't worry, I got you. You've entered the room too quickly. It's important how you enter a room. You enter a room too quickly, it can eat you. You enter a room too slowly, it can eat you. You must enter it at the frequency of that room in order to be allowed into that room. You are entering the room of embodiment, which is not a room, it's more like a whole kingdom, a whole realm. And that's probably why you have more time to adjust how you enter this room. You've entered too fast. Your pace is too fast. This year is not like last year. This year's pace is slowed down. And so you're moving more like a retrograde. So you might feel like you're moving backwards. You feel like you've taken a couple of steps backwards. I'm like, Zanne, I'm so sad. I'm down, and I don't know why. I thought I was working on myself. Nothing is wrong. It's the pace at which you're moving. You're thinking too much because that's what that pace does. So now, whereas last year you were thinking at the same rate and it was fine, in this realm that is this year, that is your embodiment year, because the pace is slow, the rate at which your thoughts are going, it's now you're overthinking. So now you're nervous. Now you're feeling all over the place. You feel like you've taken a couple of steps backwards. It's not that. That's why it's giving retrograde. It's not. You're not retrograding. You're not moving backwards. You're moving too fast, and it's giving the illusion of the fact that you are behind. You're not. Slow down. Slow down. Make some soup. Go grab an old recipe, like your grandmother's recipe, your great-grandmother's recipe, for some soup. Make some soup. Slow down. And if you're sweating at night, you're actually not warm enough. It's a cold sweat. It's because you're actually cold. And then your body tries to work up some heat. And then you obviously then start sweating. You need like I don't know. If you're sleeping naked, it's time to put on some PJs. If you're sleeping with PJs, just add like a sheet type of thing. I know someone's gonna be like, yo, Gushi no, guys, for us, like, the temperature has dropped even for us. And I know overseas, you guys are just about to, like, your winter's coming to an end, sort of, right? Right? Yeah. So, yes, you may not turn that fan off, maybe, something like that. But yeah, there's some dampness that's being created inside you. You're panicking. Why are you panicking? You're panicking, it's creating dampness within yourself. So your mucus is increasing, so you're feeling sick. Drink soup, start the day with some hot water. There's this trend on TikTok about being a Chinese baddie. Yeah, go follow that trend. That will help you. Make sure you're always, like, you know, dressed warm. I'm not saying ushi, so like I'm not saying put on a jersey, but like, you know, like how I'm just like, this is like a sleeveless thing, right? But I've got this on top of it. Like, do you know what I mean? Just make sure you're never chilly type of thing. If you go to gym, make sure that after you gym, you put on the jacket so that you don't get that chill. You're creating dampness within yourself. It's gonna make you sick. Yeah. Yeah, you're getting a bit sick because you're calibrating. It's ascension sometimes. But you know, you need to act accordingly with that. Sophie, you're already at the embodiment stage. I don't know why you would start to panic now. This is the beautiful stage. Exactly. 6 of Wands. Victorious. You done did it. Like, your true essence, the fire within you, iyakuvuma. It's saying, yeah, okay, yes. I am with you. I am you. All the boundaries that you were putting up, all the changes that you made to your life, all the investments that you made in yourself, whether it was going to therapy, booking readings, booking mentorship sessions, all this stuff, watching this content, meditating, making sure that there's movement in your life, like exercising, whatever it is, like it paid off. It paid off. You did it. I don't know if you were expecting to hear that, like, oh no, things are bad, things are so. No, look at the 6 of Swords. You're moving away from behind this girl is a whole life of confusion and feeling less than and feeling like you have to live up to ideas from the social construct that have nothing to do with who you really are. But what she's moving towards is that fire, that sun, because that sun has allowed you to view it, to see it, so that you can see the way. Look at this. Rest. It's okay. You done did it. You did it. This is the 4 of Swords, but I like how these swords here look like a crown to me. And I like how relaxed you are. I like how you're not even reaching, because when it's yours, you don't have to reach. It's yours, Anker. Y'all are coming towards each other. That's what embodiment is. I don't want to lie. Embodiment is like holy matrimony between you and the highest version of yourself. It's giving Hossana template. Let go of this PTSD. Exactly. Let go of this PTSD of always looking at the past and thinking, wait, but do I have to do this or do I have to do that? Remember, your boundaries must be fluid. Otherwise, they trap you inside. Let go. And accept. It's as if you're finding it hard to receive. Like, even this crown, I'm seeing you as relaxed, but I think some of you are like kind of imposter syndrome, kind of like, that can't be mine. Like, I can't be where I think I am. There's no ways I'm at the finish line. There's no ways I've transcended this dimension. Yes, ways, you have. You have. Oh, mtakama. I love this for you. I'm not even going to lie. I really, really love this for you. Look at you and your crystals and your pentacles. Those pentacles are feeling like entities. Like, yeah, I can only describe it as entities. Let's quickly talk about what entities are, because someone asked me in their reading and I thought that was a very important question. Good for them. Guys, entities, like how you're human, right? And you're made of skin and bones and blood, but you're also made of certain thought patterns, certain psychological patterns, certain emotional patterns, energetic patterns. Now, an entity is thought patterns, emotional patterns, and certain cause and effect patterns that have grouped up together to make a whole energetic field. And that's why this energetic field will have a specific personality. That's why this energetic field will have a certain way of doing things that is specific to this entity. We say it's an entity because it does not have blood and bones and whatnot, so it is less dense. It is rather a culmination of certain thought patterns, certain emotional patterns, and certain actions and reactions. And with that, people that interact with that field, that energetic field of thoughts and actions and emotions, were able to then personify and give it a face, give it a body, give it a name even. Oh, it's Oshun. When we say Oshun, we're speaking about thought patterns that have to do with beauty, with knowledge, with learning, with wealth, with compassion, with love, with seduction, with mystery. Those are the thought and all the thoughts and emotions that come with that. All the reactions and timelines that come with that. We call that Oshun, that entity. And then you have maybe Lilith. We have certain, again, thought patterns, emotional patterns, actions. It's kind of harder to talk about Lilith than I thought because everything about her is so mysterious. This lack of fear. One thing about Lilith is that she's fearless. The abyss is her home, just as the physical world is her home. But that also tells you something. How her characteristics are not just about the physical realm, but about more expansive realms. Her connection to other gods and deities as their equal. Her access to different tools for expansion and for raising one's frequency and connecting to one's true essence. Lilith represents the hidden pathway, the one not offered to everybody. Lilith represents access to the self, the true self. And not being afraid of it. Have you guys watched Miss Sloane? My friend recommended Miss Sloane, which I had already watched, but I was kind of inebriated when I watched it, so I couldn't remember like much of it. So I watched it again. Miss Sloane gives Lilith energy. She's strong. She is mysterious. She's secretive, but she's also a strategist. She's a planner. She's 100 steps ahead. Like she says in that role, she says, after you play your ace card and you think, oh, you've won, that's where she plays hers. She's a winner and she's not afraid of it. So, pile 4. You seem to be in this space between the last version of yourself and the new version of yourself. And the new version of yourself seems to be asking so much of you. But the thing is, you've already done the work. You've made it here. You've made it to the door. But you seem to be anxious to enter because you realize that this will mean completely letting go of who you used to be. It's weird. You're afraid of glory. You're cautious of glory. Because we also live in a world where power is seen as a bad thing. There's only a certain amount of power that people allow, what that society allows you to have. And once you are above that power, then you're seen as bad, same as Lilith. Well, Lilith used to speak to Yahweh, the Hebrew God, like an equal. Homie was like, come here. And she was like, you come here. The fuck? And that's unheard of. Even now, as I'm saying it, a lot of you are like, blasphemy. And that's okay. That's the part of you you're afraid of. I'm not saying you and God are going to be like, come here. But it was just an example. Like, Lilith and Yahweh are actually friends. Shit, they're brother and sister, for God's sake. But no one wants to talk about that. And that's the reason why she can say no to him. That's the reason why she can say, I am Funi, go find someone else to do that I don't want, and move on. Because it's like a whole family of dragons. Why would the one dragon be afraid of the other dragon? The fuck? Also, you guys should check out Pile 1 maybe, and maybe Pile 2 also. Like, I think you'll resonate with that. I think it will help you with this feeling where you're afraid of glory. You're afraid of that part of yourself. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and yeah, I y'all.